Oh, okay.
Hello. I'd like to welcome everybody to the leadership training today, Managing in a Diverse Environment. I'm Crystal Clark, in case you don't know me, but I think I know everybody in the room. All right, so I'm glad that you took time out of your schedule to come here to learn a little bit more about and enhance your skills about leading in our environment. So today we have some objectives that we're going to go over. And the first one is to understand what diversity means to you and to the workplace here. The second one is to understand your expectations as a leader. The third is to build effective relationships by using appropriate communication techniques. And to guide performance to meet or exceed desired goals. Does anybody have any questions over the objectives?
No.
Okay. So in front of you, you've got your training manuals, and in module 1, we're going to start, and that is on page 1, and we're going to start defining diversity. What does diversity actually mean? So the textbook definition says that diversity is a quality or state of having many different forms, types, and ideas, etc. Or it is the state of having people who are different races or who have different cultures in a group or an organization. Also, diversity and inclusion, the definition is different individuals valuing each other, regardless of skin, intellect, talents, or years. So organization and diversity. So most organizations now have a diversity program, or they have a diversity and inclusion program. They usually go hand in hand. So inclusion means including everyone, people who have disabilities, people who are of different genders, people who are of different races, people who are of different sexual orientations. And those things are to be inclusive of everyone. And diversity itself, we'll talk about and see what you think before I tell you or key in what it is. So I would like for you to think, in what ways is the organization that you work for diverse and inclusive? So just think on that for a minute. What do you all do here that you think, are we diverse? Are we inclusive? Okay, so our first activity is called Who Said What? So, you turn to page 3 in your manual. What we're going to do is we're going to pair up, and we're going to answer some questions that I've written down of things that people in here have said. So I want you to get with your partner, like Mark and Steve and Ruth and Carla, and I'll assign you a number. The statements are up here. You can write it down in the form. Talk about who you think said it and how you came to that conclusion. Was it because, I don't know, I mean the easiest one is because you heard them say it. Is it because of the way they act, where they're from, what they look like, those type of things. Okay, so Mark and Steve, I want you to take number 2, and it's I love food, but it doesn't love me. Okay, that's one of them. I'll give you guys 2 each. And Carla and Ruth, number 4, the Great Lakes are beautiful. And number 6 for Mark and Steve, my grandfather is famous. And Ruth and Carla, number 1, the military is the best place to work.
Excuse me.
Okay, so I'll give you about 3 minutes to talk it over with your partner, try to figure out who you think said what. Oh, hi. Hello.
somebody internally that said this?
It's gonna be somebody in this room.
Okay, gotcha.
So Carla and Ruth, I gave you number one, the military is the best place to work. And Mark and Steve, my grandfather is famous, and I love food, but it doesn't love me. And let me catch Keith and Messiah. We're on page 3. And what we're doing right now is the first activity, and it's about who said what. So what we're doing is I've written some statements up here, and you're gonna work with Keith, and I want you to write the statement down, figure out who said it, and how you came to that conclusion. Was it because you know them, personality, you know, something like that. So I'm gonna give you number 4, the Great Lakes are beautiful.
The Great Lakes are beautiful.
You gave us that.
The Great Lakes are beautiful.
I did?
Yes.
For Chris, yeah,
I sure did.
yes.
All right, I'm gonna give you 5. I hope one day my child will run track for the Olympics. And number 3, Donald Trump's wife is smarter than Michelle Obama. Okay, I'll give you 3 minutes to discuss that with each other. And write
Run for the Olympics.
Yes.
Because he's from here, but I can't teach it now. Because I have a question.
It'll be interesting to see what you all think.
Now what now? What am I supposed to do with this now?
Okay, so what you're gonna do is you and Si are gonna talk about who do you think in this room made that statement, and you'll write it down there where the author's at, and how you came to that conclusion. Based off of gender, based off of, you know them, based off what they said, based off personality, based off stereotype, based off anything. So you gotta talk.
At the end, are we gonna really find out who's the person that?
Yes, we are. As soon as you talk about it, I give you about 2 more minutes to figure it out. We'll go over it together. Mark and Steve look pretty confident. Actually, this is fun for me too, because I'm like, how well do I know all 6 of these people? Well, hopefully I know you well enough. You ready? You guys ready?
We're ready.
Ready? Okay. All right, so who would like to go first? Okay, Si. Go ahead and tell us what your statement was, who you think said it, and why.
I hope one day my child will run track for the Olympics.
Uh-huh.
I think that Keith might be sad because he has a daughter. The track, is involved. So Keith might be sad. I don't know. But so I'm thinking yes.
Okay, you're right. That was good. That was Keith. He does have a daughter, so you really couldn't talk about it with him, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't know if you guys were telling me I was supposed to be for someone else, and it was obvious. Okay, so Keith, what was the second one?
Oh, I didn't know. I was supposed to do a second. I didn't do the I missed that point there. I was working just on the one.
Okay, who said is Donald Trump's wife is smarter than Michelle Obama? We'll come back to you. Who do you think said that?
Who said that?
Who said that?
I know who said that. I'm not sure who said that.
Okay, do you
Well,
think?
well, wait a minute.
Okay.
I'll think about that again. I've heard it said before, and I'll think about it.
Okay.
Probably Saw said that.
Yes, and Sai said that. Is there anything else that would have, besides you hearing him say that you would have thought Sai would have said something like that? Anything about his personality?
He
Anything
likes
about...
being facetious.
That sounds like Saw.
Right. Okay, that's good. Good. Carla?
Okay, one of the ones that we had was the Great Lakes are beautiful. And I think Steve said that because he's from Michigan.
Oh, okay. That's a
Michigan has beautiful lakes that well.
That's a
Might
very
be wrong.
good guess. That's very good. Ruth, what was yours?
Okay, the military is the best place to work. Mark, because it's military. And then I've heard him on numerous times talking about the military is. Oh, it's a good place to go. You know, so.
Okay. All right. Good
Yes.
guesses. Good guesses. Steve?
Are you saying, asking me if I said it?
No.
Or-
Are you your question?
Oh,
I'll
okay.
let you know who said that. Process of elimination.
Okay. What was it? I love food, but food doesn't love me.
Yes.
Mark and I both at about the same instant said Carla. And my reason was because it's true.
All right. Good guesses. Good guesses. Mark, or what did you have?
My grandfather is famous.
Uh-huh. Me?
Yes, you.
No.
No?
That's the only one. Why did you think me though?
Yeah, because I vaguely remember. I thought we've talked about your family on many occasions,
Yeah.
so I vaguely remember you mentioning your grandparents
Okay.
and having an effect in the Alcott in the Alcott community.
You know, we did.
But
He wasn't famous. That was good. You listening to me? Yeah, but he wasn't famous though.
Okay.
That wasn't the famous I was talking about.
Oh.
So I will let you know who it is, but that's a good deduction. So it is Ruth, and Ruth's grandfather was famous for.
Back in the 18th century, the levee broke, and my grandfather had a plantation, but he had a lot of slaves, but he didn't see them as slaves. You can go anytime you wanted to. He would just go and buy slaves to keep other people from abusing them. And when the levee broke, he actually got all his boats, and they went out and they rescued a lot of families and people and animals and stuff, and brought them back to his plantation and had them there. And actually, the area where all of this took place, about 2 years ago, they just named this area after him.
Your great grandfather?
My grandfather.
Or your grandfather?
Mhm.
Oh,
It's a plantation area. Yep.
Yeah. Very
Neat.
interesting. They're
So what's the
very
name
interesting
of
stories.
it? The place, the name? What's
William
the name?
Fisher Johnson.
Okay.
Okay. So good. That was fun, I thought. So the whole point of the activity, and when you think about being in a diverse environment, which is almost anywhere we go now, and in a work environment, getting to know people, right? Getting to know their different backgrounds, what they say, what they like, where they're from. I mean, just the little nuanced things that are just random that you think, well, we must know each other very well, correct? Because we take the time to build those relationships. And that's very important in our workplace, when we work together, and just in life, period, to get to know people that you spend a lot of time with, right? And we're all different, very diverse, different likes, different things. So that was the point of that activity, plus to get you guys to laugh a little bit. Okay, so module 2 on page 4, we're going to talk about defining roles and responsibilities. Okay, so if you turn to page 5, the next page over, it's going to talk about supervisory